Hello and welcome to Undrafted, a Dynasty game theory podcast brought to you by the Undroppables. I am your host, Scott Belanger, a.k.a. Jax Falcone. You can find me on Twitter at Dino Game Theory. This is episode number 225. Let's roll. And it is time for us to just, I guess, like every other podcast right now, just talk about Jacory Croskey-Merritt. I feel like our nickname for him on the Dynasty Underground was way better than the new nickname of Bill. We had Cross Rocket going. I mean, dude, I was reading that Bill might be from some sort of Bill Cosby reference. I don't know. I'm not much of a reader, so I was like, well, I can't. I'm a little uncomfortable calling him Bill. But anyway, Bill sounds a little silly. We're gonna be looking for more and more. JCM's okay, although it sounds a little bit like JC Penney. We're gonna be figuring this thing out. We've got to find the right nickname. Look, if he flames out, won't need a nickname. But we're gonna talk about all that and more on today's episode with my very, very good friend, Mr. Brandon Adam. Brandon is joining us from the Stone Ridge Mountain of Colorado. Look at that stone fireplace, baby. Looking good back there, baby. I love it.
Yeah.
Brandon, welcome to the program. You know I love you, brother. How you doing?
Yes, sir. Oh, man, so fired up. NFL is finally back. Life is back to kind of normal. We've survived this, the Sahara Desert of the July, June, and now it's time. Everybody's ramping up. We're starting to see roles getting defined, some breakouts. This is the exciting times for Dynasty, and honestly for some redraft sleepers that you can kind of jump in on if you kind of know the Dynasty landscape.
Yeah, absolutely. And I probably buried the lead a little bit. I've been gone. I haven't done a show in like 2 or 3 weeks. It may be 3 weeks. I'm not even sure. Last show I did was with Andrew Cooper. Well, I don't really know. I think 1 week I didn't feel like doing a show. The next week I was on vacation. The third week I was coming back from vacation. And here we are. I don't care. It was a great time to take time off. I went and touched an incredible number of grass blades out there. There are grass blades all over this country you can go touch. I was told to go touch some, so I went ahead and did it. Not quite what it's shaped up to be. I'd recommend some other activities other than just touching the grass, but I did some. We had some fun.
Grounding.
Yes, exactly. We did. We really, really grounded ourselves. The family was great. It was great getting out with the family. We went to Zion National Park. You ever been there?
Ooh,
that's out in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's not too far from me. We might be doing a September trip for a mountain bike trip out there in early October or something.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It was hot, but not really that bad. I mean, we had a pool and water and the river.
Nice.
There's a river named for some of my friends, I guess. I don't know where they came up with it, but it's called the Virgin River. Runs right through Zion National Park. So yeah, I'm familiar with that. Anyway, lots of fun. We're back. We're here, and we're talking about football, which is exciting. Dynasty, some news, I suppose. We're going to get to JCM in a moment, but I wanted to lead the show with the Anthony Richardson news. I think it does have – I've got some takes I haven't really been able to get off on this thing, and, they named Daniel Jones the starter at quarterback for week 1. I don't know how long he remains the starter. It could be week 1 that Anthony Richardson sees time. I mean, I'm very, very unsure of all this. I think a lot of people are overreacting to this. What are your thoughts, Mr. Brandon?
Well, Shane came out in a presser. He just came out. I watched a little bit of it because I am a Anthony Richardson kind of guy from last season, and I love the running upside and floor that he brings, and the fantasy points per snap per dropback is ridiculous. And you just, with those running quarterbacks, you have to kind of commit to that style. And when you got an Anthony Richardson, a JT, you got to be one of the top 3 rushing teams in the league.
Yeah.
If that's the type of quarterbacking you're going to have.
Yeah.
Shane, I think, is trying to save his job. It's not going to happen. I think everybody's going to be gone in Indy after the season. Clean slate with the passing of Mr. Irsay. I think the new ownership is going to want to clean house and move on from all this. But I do think at some point we are totally going to see Anthony Richardson because we know what Daniel Jones is. We
Right.
know what he is. He's had one playoff season. He had one playoff berth, and that was it. And I think he's going to stumble on himself and won't be able to perform at a QB1 level at a consistent pace, especially when Shane knows his job is on the line. So
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, I
think
think
they did it in the
people have
wrong
been
order, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. People have been
wrong order.
saying too this thing with like, oh, the weapons are so much better with Daniel Jones. Like, dude, have you seen Daniel Jones? Like, Daniel Jones has never been an elevator of talent around him. This has never
No.
been one of Daniel Jones's, yes, I get that they are slightly better. I will concede that, of course, because of what you just led with, which is that should they go with Anthony Richardson, they should be sort of modeling themselves after more of a Philadelphia style attack, where it's a
Correct.
run heavy approach, play action, put pressure on the defense with Anthony Richardson's ability to break free, with his ability to run, with his ability to tush push or whatever else. I mean, you have to be creative in a way that maximizes his talent. Yes, he's not an accurate thrower. We kind of knew that coming out. If you drafted him, you knew by his college stats, his college film, and everything about him as a prospect that he wasn't an accurate, thrower of the football, that he wasn't going to win in that way. I do have some sneaking suspicion that he's also a little bit of a knucklehead. I can only imagine that they said early on they're going to go with the quarterback that they trust. That's an interesting, use of verbiage, right? And so, of course, they're going to trust Daniel Jones more to sort of execute things and to be a little bit more sort of Johnny on the spot. He's a veteran. He's a Duke guy. Maybe he's smart. I don't really know any of these guys. We never know if these guys are like smart or not. That's one of the things. And when I say smart too, it's not even like, it's not just book smart, although that does help be able to memorize all the plays, etc. But also just sort of, situationally smart where they can understand, hey, when this, I do that. I'm on it. You got it. You ask me, I'm going to answer it right every time. And, we never know. We never know. That's one of the things, like the old Jamarcus Russell thing where they're like, here's the film on the blitzes, and it was an empty DVD, and he's like, yeah, it was good stuff, bro. Like, we don't know that stuff until we know it. And I'm not sure if Anthony Richardson just doesn't have a little bit of that extra sort of I've got this sort of thing, which has been something that they can't trust. Therefore, they can't implement something that is around him. That is my number one fear. And that would lead me to believe that Anthony Richardson is dust. But if he's not, and if he does have a little bit of something there where he is trying and he is, trying to become something, then I think there's a buyback here on Anthony Richardson, a buy low moment. What are your thoughts?
I kind of like it because what if you bought low on Justin Fields? Right
Exactly.
now, you can unload Justin Fields for a good return if you bought early.
Yeah.
That's the type of, this is going to take another team. He's going to get traded next year.
Yep.
This is telling me that they are drafting a quarterback next year, 100%.
Right.
And they don't even want to waste the time to even try and develop Anthony in the process because they know if he does develop, they don't want him. And so they want to move on from him. It's that easy. And I mean, supposedly this was a Jim kind of pick when this happened. And everybody at the time across the NFL, even through the fantasy, where he went at 4 was way too high. We all said it, especially for the amount of experience he had coming out of college. Very little experience. The guy needs as much snaps as possible. So if you're trying to develop this kid that's 23 years old and barely has had any snaps, like you gotta live with the bad if you're going to develop.
That's right.
They're not. They think they're too good. The Colts actually think they are a playoff team, which is bananas to think that, and they're not. And I just think this is a mishandling the last couple of years of trying to cling on to being just a basic team and middling team instead of developing your quarterback.
Yeah, they made non-linear activities, right? They drafted him at 4, but then they didn't do the things that would support that decision. They did everything opposite of supporting that decision. And they've actually not even cut bait on that decision. Like you can look at like the Josh Rosen, Kyler Murray situation and be like, at least they heel turned immediately. They were like, nope, that wasn't it. We're changing. We're out. We're done. They didn't even do that. They kind of jerked us around. They jerked themselves along with what well, maybe and da-da-da. And so I agree with you. They have never been decisive in this whole thing and say, because I was like of the opinion, Matthew Berry said it first. He's like, look, if you have this guy, you just have to say, we're going until he's cooked. We're just going to push with this kid and let him develop. As you point out, a developmental quarterback needs to develop, and they never gave him that opportunity. So I'm with you. I just wonder now, we've seen it a number of times. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, Justin Fields, a lot of these guys get their second turn.
100%.
Some of them don't. Okay. Trey Lance, Josh Rosen. I mean, you can go down the list of guys who were not really given the second chance. Even Marcus Mariota, Jameis is not getting a second chance, third, fourth, fifth chance, or whatever the case is. But sometimes they're not given the chance. Like even in Cleveland last year, when Jameis was playing, they hooked his ass for, I don't even remember who the fuck they put in there. They were trying to get a draft pick or something. It was incredible. Yeah. So we don't always get the what we want, but sometimes these things turn around, which is why I think if you can buy Anthony Richardson cheap enough, especially right now, it could be as early as this year that he's all of a sudden thrust into there. I mean, whether it's a Daniel Jones injury, which is possible, or Daniel Jones turning into, let me see here, Daniel Jones and sucking.
Yeah. It was funny. I saw a meme that said, who's going to stop the Colts? It listed off all the Colts weapons and it said, who's going to stop the Colts offense? And I wrote in there, Daniel motherfucking Jones.
Yes.
Like that's who is going to stop this offense.
Yes.
I think Anthony Richardson will get a look again this year, especially if they don't win. To be able to trade him and get value back, they need to put him out there to showcase him. And I just think he's 23 years old. It's top 5, quarterback drafted. It's just kind of insane that they gave up on him this early. But if he is behind the scenes, what all indications is immature.
Yeah.
And doesn't understand where he is in life and the responsibilities of being a starting quarterback, then I get it. He's going to get. Reality is kicking him right where it should because that's what life does. Yep. And so hopefully he kind of rises above it and maybe his next time. And, who knows? He might be the Raiders quarterback or something.
Ooh, what about, is there a weapon on this team that you think benefits most? I've been kind of thinking about this I'm not sure if is there a weapon on this team that benefits most from this announcement of Daniel Jones?
I think when I think of Daniel Jones, I think of Darius Slayton. So maybe Josh Downs. I think Josh Downs has some pop. We know his yards per route run is well up there, and he plays very well for his size. And it's just when he's healthy is when that's the issue with him. But I don't know. I love Tyler Warren in this offense. I think everything coming out of camp says Tyler Warren could be Brock of something of Brock Bowers of last year. So that's an easy defined offense if it's going to be through the tight end, and that's good for Daniel Jones.
Yeah, so. I think that's right. I was thinking about my Josh Downs bags felt a lot better when it's Daniel Jones. I agree that it's Josh Downs. To what extent? I'm not excited for Josh Downs necessarily with Daniel Jones, but I was basically dead with Josh Downs with Anthony Richardson. I was like, it doesn't even. I can't start him because there's not enough pass volume, number one. Number two, there's not enough pass completions because homeboy doesn't complete enough of his passes. 40, 50% is not going to get it done of 25 attempts. Now, 60% with, Daniel Jones and maybe 30, 40 attempts, all of a sudden there's enough, opportunities out there. And Josh Downs can be one of those open early type of guys. He's in that sort of JSN mold where he's, can do a lot of things, but he's really available to a quarterback in the slot. Pittman should be a little bit better, I think, with him. The guys that suffer, I think, are the Alec Pierce, Adonai Mitchell players who aren't going to get as many big shots. Daniel Jones a little bit scared with the ball. I mean, he's a little bit more of a closer to the line of scrimmage. I think it was his air yards per attempt are like 7. Anthony Richardson is like 11. So it's a big difference. He does push the ball downfield much more than Daniel Jones does. So that does bring in Tyler Warren, JT, downs more than
Yeah,
Pierce and Mitchell.
a bigger. So I was kind of off JT last year because of Anthony, because I loved his rushing upside, and I thought it possibly could take away from JT. This being with Daniel Jones, I think you're right. The passing option to the running back is kind of back, and that is, I think that's going to be a huge
Yeah.
addition for this offense to being able to check it down a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's get to the story of the day. Jacory Croskey-Merritt. Jacory Croskey-Merritt is like, this is the type of stuff that, I mean, there's Twitter is a thing that like lives and breathes around certain topics. And sometimes like I'm watching Twitter, people just can't help themselves but trying to find a smart, snarky, fun little thing to say
I
about.
know.
It's so embarrassing that people are like, "Hey, I've got this sleeper, Jacory Croskey." It's like, it's hilarious and not hilarious all at the same time. I think I don't know. I mean, first of all, that part to me just sings to my soul to watch these people try to become funny all of a sudden with these little tweets.
It's
But
very.
it's embarrassing. But he is hot, and the Brian Thomas, the Brian Robinson news, where they're a little bit unsure of him and trading him. Did they trade him this morning? I didn't see. No, nothing.
Nothing yet. That's what
Okay,
I was
okay.
just about to say. He's still on that roster,
I was gonna
guys.
say,
And
let me make sure I
like,
didn't miss something as we're recording, because I was prepping for about an hour and a half and I would have missed it. So you're like, dude, no, he just
I'm
got
going to
traded.
jump on right now just in case and see
Yes,
if there's
please.
anything on there.
Check it out while
Like,
I wax.
please.
So yeah, no, I mean, and so if he's still on that roster, it's like the ceiling is still only as high as it could be, but it is steaming and steaming and steaming right now. Jacory Croskey-Merritt is RB 54 on Keep Trade Cut, just going up, up, up. But that's an arrow up, so I would say he's going to get himself into the 40s as
Yeah.
basically now a high level backup. You think about 32 NFL teams. Okay, so there's 32 NFL starters. So then there's 64 64 total in terms of backups.
It's not bad.
He's going to get to the high end of from 32 to 64. So he's going to get himself closer to 40, I think, very, very quickly. Have we jumped the shark, or is this actually still just value time at this particular point?
Honestly, I wouldn't be buying because I don't know the trade. I haven't seen it too many trades going down for him yet
Right.
in my league, so I haven't seen the value yet. But if you got him, cool. Like, you might just want to hold on to him and have a nice value on your team, or you can sell and before the news that Brian Robinson won't be traded, and then absolutely nukes this guy's value, because right now everybody's losing their mind. I get he's explosive. He looked good in a straight line that was blocked up, but outside of that one run, he wasn't all that great. So I just think pump the brakes a little bit. I think people are jumping the shark a little bit because I think it's just fun to think about him and Jaden Daniels in the same backfield. He's young. Everybody wants that sleeper running back that's going to pay off like a Bucky Irving did last year, right? Everybody wants that Bucky Irving. Guess what? Bucky Irving is special. Like,
Right.
He was going to do that no matter what. Everybody else is the one that missed on him. He was going to do that. But with JCM, I think it'll be a nice scheme fit. Yes. But I don't think he's going to be anything of consequence if you don't have him on your roster.
Yeah. It's interesting. You mentioned the trades. I love doing this. I was looking at some of the trades pulled from I pulled it from Keep Trade Cut. You can pull it from Dynasty Daddy or whatever, but it basically just pulls sleeper and other. I think it's mostly sleeper on Keep Trade Cut, but regardless.
Sure.
And you can thin it down. So I pulled 12 team, 14 team leagues. Start at least 9. Any tight end premium is fine. That type of league, right? Dynasty, Superflex or not. And like, you're seeing some trades that are pretty wild, pretty wild. So I've got a couple that I like. I'm going to tell you about them, and you tell me what side you prefer. Okay. This is the type of trade that I think it befits his value right now. And it's Jacory Croskey-Merritt, Chris Rodriguez for 27-2 and 27-4.
Give me the picks.
Right. I think that's what you have to pay to get him. You can't buy for a third. I mean, there may be
Yeah.
some third round values in here. What you're going to see though is that I've seen some managers, and I've got to tell all my listeners that if you're holding JCM right now and you can use him to go get yourself a first, you got to do it. And there's ways that this one is kind of silly, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. This is awesome. Jacory Croskey-Merritt, Isaiah Bond, Keandre Lambert-Smith, a 26 third and a 28 third. We know what this is. This is, look at all this shit. And he got a 26 first and Will Howard. And it's like, oh, what a beautiful, beautiful trade. Because he just sent a bunch of garbage that sort of added up to this guy where he's like, well, JCM, I'd pay a second, but with all that other shit, I guess I'll just pay the first. And it's just a brilliant, brilliant deal. I absolutely love it. So,
that's madness. So I'm saying, like, dude, sell him if you can, like, pump him up. Like, yeah, like, I use him as a topper, like, as a way to bump up to the tier level up on either from, certain wide receiver to the next tier. Like, I don't know. I always try to, that hot name like that. I just try and sell that when I can, because most often than not, especially in the preseason, it's not going to amount to all that much.
That's right. Yeah, there's a few others. One other one I kind of thought was interesting. Where is it? Let me find. This is crazy. I don't understand this trade. And today in a league, Superflex, tight end premium, 12 teams, start 10, PPR, 26 second in JCM for J.K. Dobbins. It's like, wait, what? I don't know if I'd pay Dobbins a second for Dobbins straight up. And here he is paying the tax of JCM on top of it to get Dobbins.
Dude, that just tells me RJ Harvey is a screaming buy right now, because people are trying to buy J.K. Dobbins.
I mean,
like, that's
crazy.
Insane.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, that's so delusional.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Here's another one that I like. It's this is a theoretical trade. There's a couple theoreticals. The other one that I mentioned, I like using JCM's current value to put him into a package deal to make someone, so you can tier up. Here's one of those examples. So this is Justin Herbert, JCM, and Marshawn Lloyd for Jalen Hurts.
Perfect. Are you kidding me? All day long. Like, come on. Like, that.
Right.
That is a winning dynasty move. Like, that. That's what I love to see. That's what you do with the hot name. You package it up and you move on up and try and get a stable asset.
Yep.
And that's what
here's another one. You're going to love this one. Matthew Golden and JCM for a 26 first. Mwah. Perfect.
Oh,
perfect.
Done.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah. It's just all this stuff where you can tier up. This is a little bit of an interesting one. This one, actually, I think I know what you're going to say, but this is great. So Jacory Croskey-Merritt and Will Shipley and a 28 second for a 28 first in Jalen Noel. What side do you prefer?
The first.
Yeah, the first. There it is. I was trying to trick you, but yes.
No. No. You're not going to trick me, man. Like, that's why you and I don't work a lot of trades, because that's just how it works, brother. Like, you and I both won't give, and that's why we don't trade.
That's so. It's exactly right. This is exactly true, by the way. When we're in leagues, I'm like, no, what about? And you're like, no. Because
do you think I'm stupid?
Yeah,
I love you. It's great.
No, it's perfect, because the JCM, Will Shipley, Jalen Noel, it's like, yeah, whatever. But really what I'm doing is I'm moving my 28 second into the 28 first. And now I've got an extra
You're
first.
You're tearing up. Yeah. Just keep tearing up all that stuff. Like, that's the way to play Dynasty. And then you can sell those picks for proven commodities if you want it, or you can make the pick. Like, that's what I love about the currency of picks. You can turn them into players at any point, and that's what you got to do.
So. Yeah. By the way, I'm seeing in a number of situations, basically 2 in a row, JCM for a second, a 26 second, JCM for a 27 second, JCM for a 26 second. Like, you're seeing that 28 second. So right now, I think the sell price is a 28 second.
Yep.
or excuse me, a second round pick. I'm just reading a little bit while I do
Of
this.
some kind. Yep.
Yeah, I think
Some
that's
people like the 27 better than the 26. Some people prefer that. So
whatever they
I
like.
prefer it. I
Yeah,
prefer it, but I'm willing to wait and be patient on that class. But
yep, whatever you
that's
like.
that's why I would be patient. Yeah, exactly.
What about this one? This one I'm going to mention on Dynasty Underground with Joe Kuvatakis, who's going to take some pain on this trade. Ben
Mm.
Sinnott and JCM for Kaleb Johnson. Ouch.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that's
sad.
no good.
No,
Yeah,
it's a
Caleb.
super tight end premium, which is why Ben Sinnott has some sort of value here. Although I don't agree with that.
Ertz is gonna do. When Ertz signed back, I was like, he's dead. It's just what it
Yeah,
is. Ertz is trusted, and the coach loves him.
yeah. So are you still Kaleb Johnson there?
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get to Kaleb Johnson, who
Yeah,
fell off a
he
little
looked
bit.
good.
He looked good. That's the thing is
Yeah,
like, we take these short samples, this one game sample, preseason game one. We're like, oh, he's terrible. Maybe
hmm
he is. I mean, I'm not saying he specifically isn't because of that game one either, but I'm just saying,
yeah,
like, I know that preseason week one wasn't the reason he's terrible. It's not really a sign that he is or isn't terrible. Even TreVeyon Henderson's kick return didn't mean he's great. It just was like, fuck, I thought he was great. He did something awesome. He's great.
got
You know,
juice.
yeah, he does have juice. That much,
Woof,
yeah, for sure. We're
juice.
gonna get to TreVeyon in a
Yeah.
moment, but I'm
hmm
wondering about Kaleb. And are you panicked about Kaleb?
So I'm not. I've been kind of out on the Steelers in general. I've kind of stayed away in every aspect of fantasy, to be honest. So
Yeah,
if whenever I had the Caleb pick, I was trading it or packaging it and trying to tear up for a wide receiver. But I like him as a runner. Like he's a great runner. But Jalen Warren, dude,
yeah,
that guy is going to have a role. He's a pass catching guy.
yep.
He is beloved in that locker room. Tomlin loves him. Like I think he's going to have a role, but I don't know. I'm not super high on Caleb. I don't have a lot of them, so I don't have a great opinion on him.
Yeah, I
So
think I'm the same.
yeah,
I'm. It made me happy that
I'm
I
excited.
faded.
Yep.
Made me happy I faded a little bit. Of
Yeah.
course, in one league I didn't fit. I have one share where I picked him right in front of Jackson Dart, and I'm just kicking myself on that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, yeah.
really
I was
kicking
taking
myself.
Jackson Dart over him every
Me
time.
too, me too. But
Yeah,
it's just one league where you're like, you think you're getting. I mean, you try to diversify. I'm in 22 leagues, but it
it's
actually
true.
hurts now. It's just like, man, sometimes you stick to your guns and it really hurts you. If you're Sky Moore over Chris Olave, famously, or whatever,
Famous.
Treylon Burks over over Drake London or something.
That
Like
was me. Did
if you make
it.
a
Done.
mistake,
Hands
right?
up, hand up in the air. I made that. I love Drake London too. Like
Yep,
it's just like it was like either or, and it really didn't matter to me.
yep,
And then when AJ, the whole thing with AJ, I was like, ooh, this opportunity is too good. Like,
yep.
and then yeah,
But my
cratered
point is, if you misread it,
out of the game.
if you get it wrong and you do it
Yeah.
100 times, well, however many leagues you're in, but 100% of the time, it hurts more. If you diversify and you made a
Correct.
mistake, well, you can kind of win by losing. You're like, I was
Mm-hmm.
wrong about Jackson Dart over Caleb, but over here I won because but anyway, long story short is, even after
Mm-hmm.
that, it's like, man, I probably should have stuck to my guns. I think Caleb is one of those. I heard the guys on Destination Dynasty, Ray Garvin and Scott Connor talking about Caleb, and you know Ray is a huge Caleb fan, but I think even he was like, now's not a crazy time to sell at 80 cents on the dollar, which would be,
Mm-mm.
packaging him up and maybe using him to get to a productive back this year. Maybe an Alvin Kamara type of player, or something where you can get some production. I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm always of the opinion that if you're going to sell off a running back, if you can try and get to a wide receiver, that'd be the way to go. Maybe Jordan Addison is a little bit, scary right now because he's suspended and he's sort of his
Rasheed
values.
Rice.
Oh fuck, obviously, yeah. Yeah,
Like
any of
do
those dudes
something
for
with
sure.
him because all right, dude, everybody's losing their minds over Rasheed. His value is plummeting.
Yep.
Everybody thinks he's going to be suspended for 10 games, but we'll
Yeah.
see. I don't know.
That's a great call. I mean, because you're getting a stud there, and who knows, right? I mean, obviously it does hurt because it's not production, and you got to wait potentially if he is suspended for 4 to 10. I think it's probably going to be 4 to 6 at most, but that's whatever. I'm not an attorney, uh,
Yeah,
not a doctor either.
he's good. He's
Yeah,
gonna be beast.
I think it'll be fine. I want to talk about TreVeyon, but I want to do so right after this. Welcome back to the program. Me and Brandon Adam talking ball, having a ton of fun.
Yeah.
TreVeyon.
Oh
I
man.
mean,
Yeah.
the preseason, not preseason, pre-rookie draft, post NFL draft. In that time, there was a lot of TreVeyon versus Judkins. They were close. They
Hmm.
went back to back. Clearly, Genty and Omarion were way ahead, and I did not see it that way. I saw it as clearly TreVeyon is with them and ahead of Judkins. I have 0 Judkins
Got it.
because of my feelings on TreVeyon. That feels correct today. We don't know that
It
yet. I
does.
mean, it's starting to feel. It's certainly the value is now agrees with my pre-draft value. The value has moved there. Do you think that's correct? Do you think? And if you do think that's correct, how far are you willing to push TreVeyon ahead of Omarion?
I think he's right there now. I think he's right up there with him. I think Judkins, man, like everything with off the field stuff, like we still don't know if the NFL is going to do something, but I don't think that's going to happen because what would you punish if he's not getting any, if nothing was substantiated with the police? I don't understand why he would be
Right?
suspended by the NFL for that. He needs to get signed. Is he signed yet?
I don't think
I'm
so.
pretty sure he's still not signed.
Yeah. As of last
So
I checked, he
yeah,
was not.
Hendo. I don't have a lot of Hendo. I have a lot of Tet over Hendo during those decisions. I had more Cam Ward at that time too, but Hendo is proving himself as a legit game changing kind of
Yeah.
real back. Like he looked all pro kind of fast. Like he
Yeah.
looked Gibbs fast.
Yep.
When I saw him burst through and the touchdown that he had in the next game where on the ground, that was a tough inside run. And that showed me a lot, which I respect a lot because I thought he was more just a pass catching back. But in fantasy, we love that. So like, yeah,
Right.
like all for that, especially
Yeah.
with Drake May, because Drake May's going to be really, really good as well. So I think Omarion and him are kind of the same tier right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, if we could design a running back in a lab that we want for
Mhm.
fantasy, it would be basically Alvin Kamara, right?
Yep.
Or CMC, the types of backs that no matter what the pass game plan is, they're involved. Meaning they can pass block, they can go out in a route. That if it's pass time, they're in the game. They're getting targets. They can go downfield. They can do everything. They can run wheel routes, option routes. You can just dump it to them. You can screen it to them. You can just do anything you want in the pass game with them on the field. And then they can break big plays post catch or, on the ground. And then a big enough or at least sturdy enough that you can trust them in and around the goal line, that you can hand the ball to
Yep.
them 10 plus times a game. Guess who that is? That's TreVeyon. I just
Yeah.
described TreVeyon, and he is sturdy enough. He's a dope pass blocker. As a matter of fact, he revels
Yeah.
in pass blocking. He loves rocking people in pass pro. So, he's trusted across the board. And with a
Correct.
coach like Vrabel, I think that goes a long way. I do think Ramondre will have a role. I'm not saying he's not going to have a role. Matter of fact, I'm glad that Ramondre will have a role.
He needs
Like,
one. Yeah.
sure, I don't want 25 carries to TreVeyon if I'm a TreVeyon bag holder. I want 10, 15 carries and then all the running back targets, which in a Josh McDaniels system has proven to be one of the most valuable things in fantasy. Even with shit bags like, no disrespect, but like Danny Woodhead, Shane Vereen, players like that had no utility in the run game really. Although Danny Woodhead was actually sneaky, but
He's sneaky.
he's sneaky. But you know what I mean? Like these aren't
Yep.
TreVeyon Henderson level prospects in any way, shape, or form. They were specific pass game. James White, same thing. Nearly Super Bowl MVP, probably should have been in some ways, but these are guys that are able to get high leverage touches, even in and around the goal line, as you saw James White score many touchdowns, including the big one to win the Super Bowl against the Falcons. So that type of player in Josh McDaniel's system, who also has a little bit of beef and can be a goal. I mean, this is a very, very high upside type of player. And for me,
Yep.
he's pick 2 in the draft if I'm redoing it right now. Genty, Henderson.
Wow. That's strong, man. And I can't tell you no. I can't tell you no. But I'm just going to tell you, Tet is going to be Drake London. And I think Bryce Young and Dave Canales has a huge eye for Tet. And
Sure.
I think he's going to absolutely pay off dividends for that team.
Yeah.
Hunter looks ridiculous. So I think he's always name brand. Amen. We all know this fantasy football name brand Gucci. That's
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, baby. And you
Yeah.
can always sell Gucci name, even if it's, even if it's a little tainted and, whatever. But you can always sell high on names like that. But Hendo, if you take, that's a strong pick at 2, man.
I just
Strong
think
pick.
like right now that this draft class was defined by the running backs. And I think
Yeah.
those 3, 1, 2, 3, I'd be looking to just smash those guys. Now, here's the thing. Even though I had that opinion, I never took Henderson at the 102. I seldom took Amarian at the 102. I took them a couple of times. I've like a couple of Amarians, but I think I only took Omarion once at the 102, and I only took TreVeyon mostly at the 105, 106, even maybe 107 a couple times, which was stealing. But the point was,
Yeah.
I was willing to trade back out of the Tet pick because, well, here's my second take. I was trading from the Tet pick to the late first, early second, and getting a Mecca Ibuka. So I'm
There
basically
you go.
getting a Mecca Ibuka plus a future first for Tet all off season. This is crazy. Emeka Ibuka was part of the top 3 wide receivers in this draft. Nobody was agreeing with me until now.
Oh, dude, I agreed with you then. He was the safest wide receiver prospect in this draft class. It's just about the upside. And where he landed with the Buccaneers was crowded until now with Jalen going. He's most likely not going to be playing the start of the season. Godwin's going to be on PUP. He looks pretty far away for me.
Yeah,
The way his leg looked deformed in that
agree.
photo, it was pretty wild to look at. And who knows how long Jalen's out. And if Emeka just starts balling, like he can't be taken out of this lineup. He can't.
Right. Yeah, I
He's
mean,
going to be killing it.
people talked about the upside, and I just pushed back on that upside conversation over and over and over again because I said, well, who are the highest scoring wide receivers in the game? Well, Cooper Kupp went Triple Crown. What was that role? Slot and 3 wide and not leaving the field in 2 wide. Okay. Amon-Ra, slot, not leaving the field in 2 wide receiver sets. CeeDee Lamb, slot, not leaving the field in 2 wide. Jamar Chase last year, guess what he played a lot of? Slot plus never leaving the field in 2 wide. That's the recipe. Well, guess who Emeka Ibuka is? He's slot and maybe not leaving the field, certainly in year 2. But the question was whether or not he was going to be. I thought he was going to get the JSN, which also is another
Me
queen
too.
chess piece. I thought he was going to get the JSN CeeDee Lamb treatment, where it was going to be, hey man, you're going to be the slot guy, Godwin, and you're going to be 3 wide receivers. You're going to play 2 wide receivers. Going to be Godwin and Evans. But there was so much question about Godwin. I was like, he got a contract, but he also got his leg nearly torn off. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do I know that he comes back? I don't know that. And even if he does come back, I still think he's going to get that CeeDee Lamb JSN treatment where year 1, maybe it's not quite what we want, but in year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, he's going to be that queen chess piece in the NFL, or at least projects to be. And now it's happening in year 1, which is like unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm right there with you. Out with the X's, in with the slot and flanker crossers, like deep crossers, Puka Nakua. Those route trees are what produces the
Rashi.
big Rashi Rice. They do all that stuff. Amon-Ra, that's the type of guy you're looking for. It's hard to do it as only an X, and in this league,
Odunze, Marvin Harrison Jr. both disappointed, even though we all agree they're fantastic football players out there on the X.
Yep. And yeah, Roman is going to be buried again. I think with the addition of Luther Burden too, like that whole thing. And Kaleb looked magnificent in his debut with Ben Johnson, and Ben Johnson looks like he is everything the architect that we were hoping for an offense. And he made this kid look so comfortable. And I think it's going to be, the answers are going to be given to Kaleb before the game.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
the game. It's going to be a good deal.
I will say this as a former quarterback, current quarterback. I mean, if you need one, I'll come in. I'm a current. I'm available. I don't know why former. I'm ready to go right now. But I hear Matt Kelly always say coach centric analysis, and he poo poos on it. Look, you want to do that in the NBA or in Major League Baseball? Like, dude, what are you telling the guy? Hit it. It's like, come on. Either you can come through or you can't. I mean, there's a little bit of strategy in baseball. I know I played, but it's nothing like the NFL. Certainly, it's certainly nothing like football. I would say there's more strategy in a 10-year-old football game than there is in a Major League Baseball game. I mean, the
100%.
strategy in football is so much schematic and how you're going to take advantage of how the defense is playing. There's so much you can do with play calling. I can tell you, I was a pretty good player, but when we called plays that couldn't be defeated, I looked like a superstar. That's just how it goes. I mean, you deceive the defense, you make plays, you take advantage of what they're doing. The schematics and the timing of when you call those plays, how you call those plays, how you coach your quarterback, just everything. There's so much that goes into it. It is hugely important. Now, you still need to execute those things. I'm not saying that it's all coach. Of course, the player needs to come through. But if the scheme is bad, if the plan is bad, even the greatest quarterback is going to have a hard time coming through. So I'm with you that if Ben Johnson can create a schematic advantage for Kaleb and he can come through, this team could be dangerous. DJ Moore, Luther Burden, Romadunze, Colson Loveland. Who's the odd man out?
Sick.
Who's the odd man out?
I think it's going to be Rome. I think it's going to be Rome. I think he's just going to be a boundary guy. I don't think he's going to get much slot time because that's going to be DJ. That's going to be Luther. I can't even say his name.
Olamide Zacchaeus.
There it is. Yeah, he's the slot guy as well. Loveland's going to get slot time as well. That is Luther Burden is going to come on late in the season. I think that's one. Yeah. I think Ben's going to kind of make an example out of Luther. Yeah. I think Ben's going to be like, this is my first real player that I'm taking ownership over. And when I turn it on with this guy, it's going to be a game-changing player. And people will know that I am that guy, that coach. Yeah. But with Alamandre, he's playing pretty good. He's a good pro. He's fast. He can finish. He did that as a commander last year. I just think Luther will be later, but Rome, I don't see Rome being a massive, massive piece here. I really don't.
I've got heebie-jeebies about Romadunze too. It's a little scary, to be honest with you, that outside boundary player in the NFL. Now, Luther, if Rome didn't exist or something, or if they just had some sort of Darius Slayton, the guy like that, just a guy that runs wind sprints. If they had a player like that and they had Luther, I would think Luther's wheels are all the way up. I just think there's enough target target earning from these other players that Luther doesn't necessarily have that huge ceiling in year one, although it is possible. But I think of Ben Johnson, just going off my previous take about scheming things up and everything. Luther Burden would be a fun player to scheme because once he touches the ball, he said it, man. I forget the exact quote. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter. It was awesome, or wherever. He said, yeah, if there's space, they're in trouble. If I get some space, they're in trouble. And he said it without laughing. He was just like, no, that's,
dude,
that's
that guy has
fact.
That guy has G attitude and aura. like the same way. I mean, not saying he's the same guy or same player, but Chase. When Chase came in, he's he's just like, I know I'm good. Right. And Luther has that all over him. And I like that in an athlete. Yes. And when you show it like that, and he looked good outside, he got flanker time. He got into the slot as well. So I think he can be moved around with DJ as well in the formation. Look out for Luther second half of the season. Look out.
Yeah, if you want to look at the opposite of Luther Burden and Jamar Chase in terms of aura, someone like Sky Moore, who when he got in there was like, what do you want me to do?
oh my
Oh,
God, like, can't believe I'm
yes.
here.
That's
Like,
exactly right. So yeah, when you see those eyes, immediately trade. Yeah, when you see that, just
dude,
get him off your squad. As soon as you see the
yes.
fear on a punt return or whatever, yeah, he was in way over his head. God bless him.
Yep.
Where where are we gonna go? Hold on, let me see what I'm gonna talk
I
about because
I
I've
have
got
a
so
guy
much.
that's
Go ahead.
that's a topic that I know offhand that we wanted to talk about.
Go for it.
Tennessee, man. Ayamanor, how do you say his
Alec
name?
Iamanor? Yeah.
Ayamanor, yes. This kid was a boundary guy coming out of Stanford, and he's getting the same role that Nick Akine Westbrook had last year, and he is finishing chunk yardage with yak ability and showing it
Yes.
from the flanker side, the side that he really wasn't running in college. And they threw him in the slot as well. In college, Alec was at an 88% outside percentage. That for him to be a big slot, that is a big deal for this guy. I think he's going to be walking into the starting lineup right away, and I'm all for buying him as soon as you can because Ridley's good. He's going to get a big target volume, but man, they're got to go somewhere else too. So I think it's going to be him, Yomanor, and I think it's going to be often.
Yes. So check this out. So we've got the UN score wide receiver model.
Mm-hmm.
It's another tool. I didn't do my
Mm-hmm.
rankings just straight up how that goes. I mean, Tet was my wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1 probably, and he was like wide receiver 5 in the model. He scores great. He scores next to T Higgins and play. He's great. I love Tedero McMillan. So it's not like these are the rankings per se, but the top 6 players were Luther Burden, Tet McMillan, Trey Harris, Tress Hunter, Jaden Higgins, and Emeka Ibuka. All right, those are the top 6.
Mm-hmm.
The 7th player in the model was Alec Iamanor, even after draft capital. So
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that Alec Iamanor does have the profile that suits some target earning ability for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the narrative that was around him was, you know, I had Felix Sharp on early. They said, well, the number 1 cornerback in this whole draft is Travis Hunter. Well, I don't remember what game it was, but Alec Iamanor
Torched.
torched
Torched.
him in
Yep.
college.
Torched.
And so here we are. So absolutely, I think Alec Iamanor could be a player. He's got a relatively wide open opportunity there with a young quarterback where if they can sort
Yes.
of sync up early, they can grow together. And by year 2, he could actually be a player. So I'm with you on Alec
He could be the
Iamanor.
guy if he could be the guy when Ridley's done. Like, because
Yeah.
Ridley, how old is he? 29, 28, 29?
Got to be
He's
30 years
older.
old. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's at least
And
30.
so I just think this guy's, when I saw him turn up field, I was like, that's juice, man.
Yeah.
He was finishing and he looked like he was looking to hurt you. And
Yeah.
I really like that in a player. And he was hands catching everything in traffic. He ran out of the slot for a big guy running out of the slot and having the option doing those choice routes. That's big time, dude. And this offensive head coach Callahan comes from the Bengals, right? Who's on the outside of Chase? T.
T.
Is he going to be T? Is he T Higgins for this offense down in Tennessee? And Cam Ward, I was lukewarm on Cam Ward to begin the process pre-draft. My
Yeah.
guy Matt was telling me I was crazy. This kid is special. I just didn't see it like that. But come to find out, he is very, very good at placing the ball where the receivers can take it and go. And this guy has been killing it in camp, killing joint practices. Ridley looks unreal. I just like the windows that this kid is throwing into for the confidence of a rookie to do it. It's looking bright for Tennessee. Cam Ward was a great selection for them, and I think Tennessee offense is going to be slept on, but
Yeah.
their division is going to be shootout city because they got Houston, they got the Jags. I think the Jags are going to be, you know, this is make or break it time for Trevor Lawrence.
Sure is.
And I think if you ask me, Travis Hunter's a superstar. This guy is. I don't know many athletes that move like this guy,
Right.
and I just think he the way he works, he's going to succeed. There's going to be a lot of shootouts in that division, man, and Cam Ward's going to have to sling it. And they already got Todd Spears' ankle issue. That's their pass catching back. More is going to be funneled to the wide receivers. I'm telling you, Alec is going to have big value. I like buying him now.
This is a great take. I think I'm going to look at this here real quick. Who else do they have? Like, I don't mean this like no one, right? I mean, like, what are their other options?
Tyler Lockett. They had Tyler Lockett on the corpse of Tyler Lockett, the real estate agent. That's all he does is sell houses. Like it's already, if you follow the Tennessee press, this kid, Alec, has really performed and showed out. And he's going to be walking into the starting lineup day one. I just totally can see and feel it.
Yeah, because the alternative was, if you saw one of the dimes that Cam Ward threw, he threw it directly to Van Jefferson, who paddled it out to the sideline for him. Instead of catching it, he just sort of whacked it off into the stands.
Like
very, very nicely done. Yeah, no, nicely done by Van Jefferson. Just get that thing out of bounds. Don't want to make any sort of rash decisions like catching it and turning upfield for a big play. So, yeah, I think that's really the only other guy that can box him out, because you're right. I mean, Tyler Lockett, Calvin Ridley, even like you say, Lockett does not really box him out either. So I think one way or the other, Iamenor is going to force his way onto the field, him and Calvin Ridley, and then it's like some version of Van Jefferson, Tyler Lockett, or some sort of young player like Restrepo or Chimere Dike or whatever is going to find their way on the field. But yeah, I think you're right, man. I think it's like Ridley's obviously going to be peppered with targets.
Oh.
While we're here, Chig Okonkwo or Gunnar Helm, Gunnar Helm.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Yeah,
right?
Why not? Why not? Chig has had so much time. Like, why not Gunnar Helm?
It could be Gunnar Helm.
Yeah.
Anyway, can we talk about?
Deep,
can we talk about my boy, Jackson Dart?
Oh, please do.
Bro, I'm so excited about Jackson
Please
Dart.
Do. It's gonna be good.
So the whole idea with Jackson Dart, the whole negative, like when you said, "Oh, hey, what's the problem with this Jackson Dart player? Like, what's the downside? Why is he not an early first round pick? Why is he not a player that we should be investing in the NFL and in fantasy and in Dynasty, etc.?" Well, the system. That was the answer.
That's it.
That was it. Nobody said he can't do this. They said, "Oh, they made it easy for him." Okay, so that doesn't explain everything for me, because why doesn't every team just make it easy for all the other players and just do what they did? You know what I mean?
You still got to throw it. You still got to place the ball where it's supposed to be, and and that's what I'm saying. Jackson Dart. I had him as my number 2 quarterback in this draft class. I had him as the bookend, round 1.
Yes.
No matter what,
yes.
Jackson Dart. I have a ton of Dart. I got a lot of them, and he's going to be the Bo Nix. He's just like Bo Nix of last year.
Yep.
And when he gets paired up with Malik Neighbors full time, oh my goodness, Trey Harris was a dog, man. Trey Harris was a dog, but Neighbors is kind of just one of those guys. It's just the most elite athlete on the field, no matter what. And you could literally say that about this guy.
Yeah.
So,
and he's got the ability to. I think he's going to be great, and I think he's going to be great for the reasons you just stated. I also think he's going to be great. You could see it even in the preseason. They were calling a few plays that were utilizing his skills, which is a lot of sort of shotgun play action, where he's able to sort of manipulate linebackers and make throws that way. But even when everything breaks down, he's got the ability to take off and run. So you do need to dedicate some players or a player or some sort of attention to his running. You can't play man and turn your back. That's going to be a huge problem. So he's not one of those types of players. So yeah, I really think he's going to be, he also
He's
has
got
the
some.
moxie thing. He's got the thing we're
Yeah.
talking about with Burden. Like, dude does not think he's failing at all.
No, like he thinks he's like the guy.
Yes.
And I love delusion, dude. I like if you're gonna be a pro athlete, you kind of got to be delusional a little bit
Yes.
about yourself, because if you ain't gonna believe in yourself, nobody else will. So
Bingo.
it's just this guy is oozes swag, and he checked to the touchdown on that
Bingo.
play.
Yep.
He checked to that. That was not the call play. Look
Yep.
at his left hand before the damn play. He checked to it and he
Yes.
challenged the DBs deep. And
Yep.
he put it right on the money. And this guy's got ridiculously good arm talent. He has. Some may think this might be a slight to him, but he's got some Alex Smith to him.
Yeah.
He's got good running ability. He can make you pay, and I think Dayball knows he's got a good one, and he's got a guy that he can build around. And it just seems like Dart has control of the locker room already, and he's not even the starter.
Yeah, you're talking about that first one in week 1 where he audibled to it. There was
Yep.
single high, and he's like, "Oh, single high? Well, I don't give a shit who it is out there. It's gonna be Malik Neighbors out there." But it wasn't. It was just like who it was Lil Jordan
Yeah,
or yeah. So he's
it
like,
was.
I have
Yeah,
nobody,
scrub.
a scrub. I'm still gonna. It's touchdown. You can't do that to me, boy.
He
So there
put the
was a
ball better than the defense could ever defend it. Like
yeah.
it's
That's right.
just that's welcome to being a good quarterback and having arm talent. And this kid's got great arm talent with the intermediate throws, dude. Down the like he's got arm strength. And I don't understand this whole narrative about the system outside of Tennessee. I swear to God, outside of Tennessee, that's the only damn school that it's like the new Baylor,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you can't trust anybody out of that offense because it just creates holes for everybody.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Wright's been struggling too, and it's
Yeesh.
just crazy. But Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin was a hell of a quarterback guru, and he can coach the hell out of quarterbacks. So any quarterback that he's got, I got some interest in. Period.
Yeah. So you mentioned it. Our boy Jalen Wright looks like he's number
Yeah,
3 on the totem pole now
he's dead.
with
Yeah.
Ollie Gordon. Yeah, he's dead. Ollie Gordon looks like he's taken over that number 2 spot, and that number 2 spot might have a little bit of value given
Mm-hmm.
Achane has a little bit of a calf situation. I don't think it's the end of the world, but we've heard that before. I remind you, Christian McCaffrey,
Christian
2024.
McCaffrey.
Yeah,
Exactly.
literally. So I think we might want to pay a little bit of attention to that. I think the way you pay attention to that is go get yourself some Ollie Gordon. Um, you could probably take Jacory Croskey-Merritt, trade for Ollie Gordon, and get a second thrown in.
Yeah.
There's a
Totally.
trade for you. Go do that.
There's a good one. Do that. And the funny thing is, Miami is part of the interest into B-Rob. So Brian Robinson could be coming to Miami because of how badly Jalen Wright has looked as RB2. And that kid should have been. I think, unfortunately, he's the type of runner that needs to find lanes. And this line is such trash. And there is no clear lanes. Nothing's going to be blocked up clean. And that's why a refrigerator like Ollie Gordon can smash through the bodies. And when he does break through, he can get some chunk runs.
Yeah.
Achane can get around this issue because he is his pass catching prowess.
Yeah.
But Jalen Wright cannot. He
No,
that's the
that's
lanes.
bad. That's bad news.
Yeah.
Maybe when you said they might trade for Brian Robinson, I don't want to make that trade anymore. But really, the seconds, what you're trading Jacory Croskey-Merritt for, Ollie's the throw-in. But maybe I'll still do the deal. But he scared me a little bit. All right,
That's one of them. That's one of the teams that's interested. From what I've been
you're
reading.
in this neck of the woods. You're in Colorado. The Denver Broncos. Yep. The Denver Broncos have a couple of wide receivers that I really like. They have Marvin Mims, who I really like. They have Troy Franklin, who I really like. They have Pat Bryant, who was kind of impressive. They have Cortland Sutton. What the hell is going to happen with this passing attack? There's so many questions I have, but in general, what are your thoughts here?
In general, I think I'm staying away outside of Ingram in that offense and Bo Nix. Those are
Yeah.
and RJ Harvey. Those three, the wide receivers, I'm not buying any of them because I think it's just going to be spread out. And to be able to predict when to put Troy Franklin in
Yeah.
and when to put Pat Bryant in is going to be impossible with Sean Payton. And I just feel like I'm gonna just invest. If I'm gonna invest in the Broncos, it's gonna be with Bo freaking Nix.
Yeah.
Bo Nix is my MVP dark horse for
Mm,
this year. I think the Broncos have a serious contender now that they got depth on the offense a little bit.
yeah.
I really like what the Broncos have done. Bo Nix is a stud, and he won't have a broken back for half the season as well. So that's going to be nice for the Broncos as well. But Troy Franklin, year 2 breakout is possible. I think he could possibly break out over a Marvin Mims because it seems like Mims is going to be the shot taker kind of creative type player that he's going to use him for, but not a consistent player. Troy is going to actually get some run as a flanker in the slot as well. He's been having a hell of a preseason. Sean Payton's been in the press about Troy, and the year 2 breakout is upon us, and he's excited about it. I think Pat Bryant's going to be Sutton's replacement, to be honest. We're just going to have to wait on Bryant.
Yeah, Pat Bryant, interesting. I agree with you in terms of not knowing which player is going to do what. It feels super confusing for me.
Yes.
You mentioned the Marvin Mims. So I had a Marvin Mims take on the Dynasty Underground that, how do I say this? I'm not sure what this all means, but I'm going to put a number of things together for you, and then you tell me what you're thinking here. Okay,
Sure.
here's how it goes. Marvin Mims coming out of college was like 20 yards per reception for like 2
Mm-hmm.
straight years, like
Mm-hmm.
super big time, big playmaker, right?
Mm-hmm.
In year 1 with Denver in his rookie season, he came out of the box making big plays, like big plays down the field, crazy. He was 17.1
Yep.
yards per reception in year 1. His ADOT was 15.2.
Yeah.
Getting chunk yards, that's what he was. Now, his target rate was a little lower because, of course, he was going down the field. But here's what happened last year. Last year, he started to get more. First of all, he was targeted at a much higher rate.
Mm-hmm.
His ADOT went from 15.2 to 7.1. Crazy. His yak went from 7.1, which is actually really good, to
Mm-hmm.
12.3. 12.3?
Jesus.
Are you kidding me? Like, obviously, there's a couple big plays, skew that, whatever. I get it. But his yards per route run in 23, 1.54, went to 2.57 last year.
That's
Now,
good.
I agree a lot of that because it was unlimited routes. He only ran just about 200 routes last year. That's not enough. He didn't play enough. He didn't play enough. A lot of that was schemed. I get that. I totally understand that. You can't extrapolate that straight up and say if he plays a lot, he's just going to get whoa. No. I'm not saying that. But here's what I am saying. In the preseason, he did see a couple opportunities where he was playing, 80% route participation. Well, if he gets anywhere close to 80%, I don't think he's going to get 80%. But if he gets 70-ish percent, if he just kind of gets a starter's route participation and he's able to do both of those things, the things that
Mm-hmm.
he was successful at throughout his career, plus the things he was super successful at last year, I mean, there's a little bit of hopium that's still alive for my Marvin Mims bags based on
Same.
this. Now,
Yeah.
this could all be Fugazi because he could go back to a 30-40% route participation guy, and he's a gimmick guy or he's a deep shot here and there type of guy, and that's how they trust him, and that's fine. And that's definitely 1,000% in the range of outcomes, of course. As a matter of fact, I would argue that's more likely that that's what's going to
Mm-hmm.
happen. More likely, okay?
Yes.
But if we put all these things together and we put it where he's not an 85, which he was, 70% route participation, and both these things can happen. Am I tempting you at all?
Oh, I get it, dude. This is the Jaden Reed effect. This is like the same thing, dude. Like this is unbelievable athlete that makes big plays, and we want more of them, right? And
Yep.
why aren't we getting more of him? And I honestly think, man, Sean Payton's going to stunt that. I think he
Yeah.
wants to rotate this stuff. I think he doesn't care about. He wants to mix up personnel constantly. Um, yeah, I have Marvin Mims, dude. Before this season started and before the addition of Pat Bryant, when Pat Bryant wasn't there, I kind of saw the vision. I kind of saw it. I understood where it was going. But with Pat Bryant being there now, even more murky with who's going to get snaps. Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one, dude. Like because I can't make that leap. I think we're going to be struggling a little bit with the Mims bags, and I would just instead of counting on that, I would kind of just package them up with a pick and move on to something more consistent. That's kind of where I'm at with Mims, even because there is still hope. Because I like Mims too, so there's still hope in my like. But if he broke out, I'd be okay still getting rid of him because it's not on my brain anymore because
Yeah.
I don't got to make those decisions anymore. Like that's the
Yeah.
hardest part for me is the decision making each week with Marvin Mims.
Yeah. No, look, I can't argue. I can't argue with any of it because I think it's the more likely scenario is that he
Yeah,
ends up being what he's been. I just think that someone, whether it's Pat Bryant,
someone
whether it's Troy Franklin, whether it's Marvin Mims, someone should or could, I don't know about should, maybe should, possibly should, definitely could, become more of a starter, more of a regular player. I mean, as you point out last year, it was Dejan Vele and other people I'd never heard of, plus Franklin, plus Mims, plus this, plus that. It was just sort of this rotating cast of characters around Cortland Sutton, which
yep,
is fine for NFL purposes. That's fine. It does
great,
not help our fantasy teams. And
yep.
for fantasy, we want consolidated targets. I think you're right. Evan Ingram and Cortland Sutton will be
It's
those guys.
Ingram, dude. It's
Yeah, it's
Ingram,
Ingram.
Sutton, and Harvey. That's
Yep.
that. Those are the only three that are investable, where you can go. Hell yeah, when you're clicking the draft button
Yes.
because Ingram has like just did you see how hard they were blocking for him on that big run that he had? I mean, Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin laid waste to DBs to get him rolling, and I think Sean Payton's got these boys playing, and they're playing for the team. It's not
Yeah.
really about themselves. But I think Ingram is going to be an easy one to peg as, yeah, he's going to have a big role, and I can consistently put him in my lineup.
Ingram's probably a pretty decent buy in Dynasty,
Oh yeah,
depending on what it costs to get him. You can definitely, I would have a few things going each way where I'm getting Evan Ingram on a contender. I think that's a smart way to go. I wouldn't just pay picks. That's not how I'm looking to
no,
acquire Evan Ingram. You don't need to pay picks to get him. You can pay with youthful players and different types of guys, Marvin
correct.
Mims or whatever, what players like this that have some value that you can package together. You might even be able to get Ingram and a pick, a third or something for some of these things that you want to send.
Yeah,
Interesting. I like that. Buy Evan Ingram with some things.
yep.
Swap me.
Honestly, the biggest buy is Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is a top 5 quarterback this year, and I think he throws for over 4,000. I think this kid is set to make a huge push. Um, man, Denver has a good one. Let's just say that. And this defense is ready. Like this team is real.
Speaking of MVP candidates, we probably buried the lead here. I mean, we probably should have brought this up at the top of the show. But in New England, we have Efton Chisholm, and I'm thinking, what? No,
Nothing. No, just love it.
what are you talking? What are you laughing at? This is
Bury the. You said bury the lead with
Efton Chisholm,
Chisholm.
MVP. You don't think he's going to be in the MVP running? I mean,
Yeah, it was great.
come
Good
on
stuff.
now. He's obvious. Like, come on.
It's obvious hit.
Yeah, like he's going to be an MVP. I mean, Hall of Fame, we'll see, but for sure an MVP candidate in year one. Efton Chisholm, can't wait. You
Yeah,
buying
he's
or
good.
selling effed and just straight up as it is right now.
I'm buying him. I think he's got a damn. His talent is evident. Like
Yeah.
the way he separates is very. His route running and separation is stellar.
Yep.
He's been absolutely slaying in the preseason. The only thing is Demario Douglas. That's
Yeah.
his role, right?
Yep.
And so I think maybe Chisholm is the next chess move after Douglas is gone. Like after they move on from Douglas.
Yeah.
But I like Chisholm a lot. I like his talent. I have him on many taxi squads. Picked him up. So
Yeah. I think a team that has seen Julian Edelman and
yeah.
what he did, because he was a special teamer. He didn't play his rookie year. He wasn't even a freaking wide receiver. He's a quarterback coming out of Kent State. Like they're willing to sort of say, hey, this guy's special, but is going to need some time. He's not big name. Look, Jacoby Myers even, look, they've done this before where they'll take, and I say they like as if it's the New England Patriots, but Josh McDaniels was there. Vrabel was there for some of it, as a player. I think there is some structural, uh, ties to
Oh,
the days of old.
Yeah, they want this to happen. It. Like as
Yeah.
soon as after their first practice, when he literally juked the shoot, like when people were falling down trying to keep up with this guy, like they all looked at each other like we did it. We did it again, boys. like we did it. Everybody,
Yes.
like it's just what they do in New England. This role is defined. It was built there, and he's just the next chapter. And I'm buying productive PPR machine wide receivers. It's just, is he going to be able to get on the field this year?
Maybe
with
not.
Mario
Right.
Douglas? Like that's my biggest thing. But
Maybe
Vrabes does what Vrabes likes to do.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Yeah, it's not like he's boxed out by Amon-Ra.
No.
Like Pop Douglas is certainly beatable, but I think you're right. I think it's just like, I think he does get on the field here and there. I think he will have some opportunities, and it's what he does with those. Like obviously if he goes out there and, he gets 3 targets, he gets 1 catch for 4 yards, everybody will be like, oh, okay. It's just this isn't real thing. But if he gets 4 targets and gets 3 catches for 62, they'll be like, put him in next week. It's just like what he does with those targets. They'll be the drumbeat, not even just from the fans and the media, but also from the coaching staff. Like they're going to go back, watch film, be like, dude was fucking open, broke a tackle, blah, blah. He's got to earn it when he gets his limited opportunities. But I think he's the type of player that can do it, man. He looked really good. The thing that I loved about him was the touchdown against Minnesota where he broke a bunch of tackles to get in the end zone. That's what you need to do. Like, it's one thing to be a catch and fall down slot. Dude was making some plays.
He's number 1 in missed tackles in the preseason with 6.
There you go.
And guess how many people and the next best guy was Chase with 2.
That's great. That's great. I love it. He was number 1 in PFF, wide receiver graded player in the preseason as well. So,
dude, he could be Doug Baldwin. Like he could be like a Doug Baldwin.
Good.
Like he could be.
You know where he went to college, don't you?
Yeah. Cooper Kupp. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's go.
Dude.
The prototype.
He's 2 inches shorter. That's all it is. Like
he makes up for it downstairs though. Trust me. Did you hear the TreVeyon story?
No.
Oh my God.
Oh God. No. Should I look into this?
Yes, you should look at it. I'm going to tell it to you right now because I can tell the story. It's fine. Easy to do. Those Instagram and TikTok, where it's like a guy on a sidewalk talking to like college people and they just interview them. They'll just be like, what's the weirdest thing you ever did in bed? And they like tell them like, well, my brother one time, I like, you're like, what are you, right? Those things, those things, right? So I don't know why, but people just tell whatever. Well, there's a clip of a guy just asking this girl something. The clip I've seen is not the extended, it's just a shorter one where she goes, yeah, he sent a picture to my friend. It was below the knee. She said, no, this is a weapon. Put that thing away. I don't want to see it. Oh, he's black. He's black. He played at Ohio State. He's on the New England Patriots. That's a quote from some girl, college girl, who's claiming that TreVeyon is walking around with a third leg, which might explain why he's so fast on those kickoffs.
That's probably why he has so much juice, man.
Yep.
Like the guy has
Below
juice.
the knee is her words. Below
You're
the
telling
knee.
me he doesn't have low T. You're telling me he's a high T kind of guy.
High T TreVeyon. Yep. So there you go. So, and I looked, I was like, wait a minute, there's got to be like more than one Ohio State player that, is on the page. There's not. There's like one other guy, and he's like not even on the roster. So,
And that is
TreVeyon.
your title of the pod, High T TreVeyon.
TreVeyon hammer time. Let's go.
Oh,
so good though. So yeah, I mean, this goes a long way. This is like the Luther Burden stuff. This matters.
Just
guy walks
aura,
in.
bro.
Hey, I mean, this is part of the running back model. Actually, it's the PSM. The boys over at Establish the Run set this up long ago. Penis size, model is.
Oh, dude, I bet there's a massive correlation there. Massive.
Exactly. There's correlation for sure. All right, so let's get to this last one.
Yes.
Okay, so or we'll keep going. But this one, we see like Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. We see some backfields that are able to, get two running backs that are worth something. Okay, it happens. And not always. Sometimes there's hardly any. But what they're doing in Seattle with Clint Kubiak and this sort of proven system of running the football. First of all, they did it in a preseason game. Granted, preseason, I'm not staking everything to preseason, but they ran all over the Kansas City Chiefs. Proof of concept was certainly in the win column, not in the loss column for that, as everybody was participating. George Holani, Damian Martinez, like everybody was running amok in that game. We go to now Ken Walker and Charbonnet and this whole Seahawks team. I think there's so much exciting stuff to talk about in Seattle. What are your thoughts about this whole situation, just from a 30,000-foot view in terms of their run attack?
So as you know, I'm a Seattle guy. This is my team. This is my squad. This is Kenneth Walker's team until proven otherwise. Ken Walker is going to be probably the biggest value in drafts at the running back position this year because of Clint Kubiak and the Alvin Kamara effect. And Ken showed last year that he can pass catch as well. Everybody kept telling me when he was coming out that he can't pass catch, you can't pass catch, you can't pass catch. Well, guess what? He was getting about three catches a game, like for stretches, and that is leading the elite upside type stuff for Ken Walker through the air. And I just feel like with us investing into the line, our line was putrid last year. Tons of injuries on the interior. We had probably 4 out of 5 starters were replacements for 90% of the year. It seemed like rotating. We never had a real starting 5. And this year, it's going to be a little bit different. I think with the addition of what we did in the first round with Zabel, he's pushing people around. Holes are being created. And Clint is stretching out the defense side to side. And I think they're just going to be able to make huge cutbacks. And any RB in this system is going to be huge. But Ken Walker is just a special runner, man. He's never had a line. He's never had a real scheme. He's done it just on pure, I'm better athlete than you, and missed tackles. And now he's going to actually have a coach that's going to have it schemed up and make it easy for this kid to have some holes. And Ken Walker, you aren't going to catch up to this kid if he has a step.
Yeah, man. Last year he was almost 40% missed tackles forced per attempt for his 40. That's like the Janty numbers in college. Like,
yes,
Janty did that at Boise State, and we're like, dude, he's the best ever. So he did that, and then for his career in the NFL, he's still about 28%. So very, very solid numbers. But yeah, last year was just off the charts. He also has 1.30 yards per route run for the last 2 years. So, the yards per route run are there. I think unless they go to Jalen Milroe, the targets will still be there. Lord knows Darnold is going to panic and want to check it down enough, in
100%.
this offense. And the Clint Kubiak, you're right. The system, man, it's been successful. You need players to execute a run game. It's not like you can just run with any sort of, any team and be like, oh, we just got this system, it'll be fine. But in the right system with the right players, they also went ahead and got Gray Zabel, who, dude, I love this kid going through the process.
Dude,
I'm
he's
not
a beast.
Yeah, I'm not a huge, offensive line, analyst, but I look at that shit, going. I love the draft, and that kid, everything you saw in him was like, that's the guy because he can move, and in this system, if you can get him out in space, him and get me excited already.
It's good.
So, it's good.
I'm telling you, top 5 upside for Ken Walker this year if he stays healthy. Fantasy points per game, he's going to be up there.
What about Sharbs? You think he has standalone value?
I think he's going to have. I think they're going to be running enough. Yeah. I think they will run
value
enough
too. Not like
not crazy, not like Montgomery value or anything. But I think like him and Braylon Allen are similar kind of value.
Yeah, closer to David Montgomery than they were in the past. That's fair to say, right?
Yeah. Because I think Clint. It was very obvious. McDonald said, we are going in with the mandate. We are running the ball as much as possible this year. And that's the reason why they fired old boy last year, is because they didn't run the football enough. And he wants to run the football.
Well, they got themselves an offensive lineman in Gray Zabel. I don't know what else they did. I don't think they did too much to
Bradford. It's more about health. Health. We had guys coming off of surgeries, fresh off surgeries last year. It just didn't look good. It looked like they were playing through some issues. And this year we look like we are a unit, and we're starting off on a better foot health-wise as a unit.
That left side, if Charles Cross is good, you know
Charles
what I mean?
Cross is good.
Yeah, no, but if he's healthy, then you have Cross and Zabel on the left side. It's pretty strong. So we'll see. Yep, we'll see. I think it could be okay. Run left, right? Yes, absolutely. Or trap, counter, trap.
Oh, dude, Ken is going to kill people on the back cut. Like, it is going to be a thing of beauty. And the funny thing is like, I understand it's his athleticism is under. Like, people don't realize how athletic this guy is. Like, he is top tier athlete, like Barkley type athlete. Like, he just hasn't had the system, and I'm excited to see him get the real system, because he's going to have a real massive breakout. Just stay healthy, bro. Don't do front flips into the end zone and tear your abs like last year.
Don't do that.
Jesus.
I think in Dynasty, I would not bend my will, but I would certainly seek Charbonnet if I had Ken Walker. I would want that handcuff, because I think it's 1 for 1. 1 for 1. I just mean that if Ken Walker goes down, Charbonnet is going to be a lead back.
Totally.
It's not like, no, I'm not sure who. No, we're sure. He's so clearly defined as the backup running back there that it's going to be him for sure. I think
they're actually deep enough to trade Charbs if there's a trade that comes along.
True. Yeah,
and also
true.
for Ken.
That's true.
Like, also for Ken, because they got to pay him soon. And
that's true.
I think this is his contract year, so he has to play this year to get paid. And so that is a major motivator.
Yeah, they do have Holani and Damian Martinez are
weird. I'm straight with those two as backups.
Totally.
You kidding me? Those two have been great.
Yeah. So even if you make a move for Sharbs, thinking he's your handcuff, he might actually, you might get a split asset where all of a sudden you've got a starter in like Dallas or something.
Woo. Correct.
There we go. We're knocking on the door there. That might make some sense. There are some questions. Can Cooper Kupp stay healthy? That's a question.
That's a big question. I think he's gonna play enough to make it worth it. He'll probably miss a couple games here and there, like these vets do. It's a long ass season, but really, this is all about JSN, man. This is all about JSN has true Justin Jefferson type upside in this offense with the way Sam Darnold fixates on JSN and his first reads.
Sure.
Because this is going to be a simplified offense. It's
Yep.
going to feed JSN, and Cooper will get some slot. I imagine Jason's going to be moved over to the flanker side a little bit. Torrey Horton, he really looked nice. And there is a spot on the X for this team with DK Metcalf gone to go run wind sprints to clear out everything else. So he might be on the field.
Torrey Horton is now a starter over MVS. That is in the rearview mirror.
Dude, like if that doesn't happen, I would be totally shocked.
It's in the rearview mirror. That's happening.
It's already happening. And he looked good in that number 15, looking like Jermaine Kearse. That was cool. And when he spun into the end zone, that's the way Jermaine Kearse spun into the end zone, just like against the Denver Broncos, man. That 15 again, I was like, oh man, this is fantastic.
Lovely. So, I love that. That's cool. I also remember Jermaine Kearse making that stupid catch down the sideline just before the Malcolm Butler pick.
Yeah, just before my life imploded. Yes. And I will never forget Pete.
No, well, that was, you've seen the footage. That was Bill Belichick playing chess. You saw it. We saw it. He ran goal line, which meant that he had literally 8 gigantic defensive front players and 3 cornerbacks. No safeties, no nothing. They're like, oh, you're gonna go run 3 wide? We're running beef. And they were like, wait, what are they doing? They're in goal line? Yeah, so we have to pass it. We're gonna do that play. And they knew what play was coming because of Ernie Adams. That was crazy. But I do remember that play. I'm sure you remember that play.
Vividly. Browner screwed it all up. Browner is what he knew. Browner knew this play because he was a Seattle Seahawk. He knew we trained this. This is part of our repertoire.
Yep,
and he jammed up the whole thing and screwed up the route, and it was beautiful. Game over.
The Super other thing I can remember, I'll tell you this. So my daughter's 11. She was like, not 2 yet? Was that right? That was she had just turned 2. I think she had just turned 2. That was in 15. Was that in 2015, 2016, whatever?
Yep, 15.
So I'm sitting on the couch like every other Patriot fan in dismay, realizing we're going to lose the game. You know what I mean? Just like every Seahawk fan was standing up cheering, knowing they were going to win the game, right? So that's the crazy dichotomy of that moment, was that every New England fan was sitting there, sad, pissed off, quiet, somber, really just starting to run through everything and realize we're going to lose because of that stupid fucking catch. We already had the helmet catch. Now we have this bobble-ass, stupid-ass play on the sideline.
Crazy catch, too.
And we're like, this is crazy. And we're just quiet, silent. And then you have all the Seahawks fans going crazy. So I'm sitting there, I'm by myself. I have a 2-year-old daughter. I'm not like at some party. I'm a good dad, believe it or not. So I'm sitting there watching basically by myself. My wife's in the house, but I'm sitting there watching the game. By the way, I also changed my tune after we lost to the Giants, the 19-0 year. I was at a Super Bowl party, and I was like, that was the worst experience of my life. I was at a fucking Super Bowl party. Because you know what happens at a Super Bowl party? Nobody gives a shit. There's like fans of all different, some people not Super Bowl or NFL fans. There's just people like, hey, buddy, with a drink. And I'm at the worst moment of my life.
Yeah.
In and around people who are like, I'm in California too, so it's like sunny and fucking beautiful. The doors are open. People are like, oh, what's going on? Is the game over? Let's turn on some music. I was like, ready to just fucking kill everybody. So I was like, I'm never watching the Patriots. I'll go to a Super Bowl party, but never if the Patriots are in it, because I'm a jerk. Like, I'm a jerk to all these nice people who are at this Super Bowl party. I'm like,
you're like, don't bother me, man. I'm watching the game.
Yeah. Like I'm a bad person. I don't want to. That's not me. Like I'm good at parties, but not that. So anyway, so I'm by myself sitting on the couch, and when Malcolm picks it off, of course I exult and I scream. And my little 2-year-old daughter is just playing with a fucking toy or whatever, starts crying because, of course, she thinks, who knows what happened, but it's certain. Dad is.
I'm about to cry just thinking about it.
Yes,
I'm about to cry right now. Thank you.
Brutal.
Appreciate it.
Brutal. The game was also won, by Tom Brady. Lest we forget that you remember that Seattle defense, that Legion of Boom defense, had only given up like 1 touchdown in the fourth quarter all season. Like they had given up a total like 14 points all year in the fourth quarter. They basically just were like shutting everybody down. Tom Brady scored 14 points by himself. Well, not by himself, but in that fourth quarter to come back. Got to give him.
I'll just tell you, the reason you guys won is because Jeremy Lane broke his goddamn leg and broke his arm on the same play out of bounds. And then after that, Julian Edelman went crazy. That's why. Our slot DB was catastrophically hurt, and that was it.
Should have been tougher. He wasn't tough enough, but that's for sure.
Dude, he had 2 season-ending injuries in 1 snap.
He's efficient, is what you're saying. Hey, look,
But you know what's even crazier is Hightower, after the play before the pick,
yes,
when Lynch hit Hightower, he broke his clavicle on that tackle. And
crazy.
Hightower is sitting there like, I'm about to tackle beast mode again with a broken shoulder. And he didn't know if he could do it. He didn't know if he could do it in an interview. And he was like, thank God they didn't do it because I didn't have to do it.
Oh, my God. That tackle on beast mode was incredible because if you watch it over and over again, you're not quite sure how it even happened. It doesn't make any sense. It never made sense. Dude. Yep. Okay, let's finish with Torrey Horton. That was awesome. What a trip down memory lane. I'm sorry I got to bum you up. By the way, I shouldn't have done that. You know why? It's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's my birthday. Nothing better than podding about fantasy football on your birthday. It's the best.
Getting rolled down memory lane of one of the most devastating sports moments of your life. Happy birthday.
Totally. Oh, dude, happy birthday. Yeah, exactly. And I'm 40, so it's officially over. My life is like officially, I'm in midlife crisis. Why I bought a chain, I don't know. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. Like I'm 40.
Yeah, 40 was tough for me. 30 was like, I don't give a shit. 30, who gives a shit about 30?
40's been 31? Hard, man.
40's a tough one. Damn. Tough number. I felt like 40 is tough, and I feel like 60 is going to be tough whenever I'm not even 50 yet, but I'm just saying, like, 60 sounds brutal. My brother's turning 60 this year. I'm like, bro, that's fucked up. Like, how can you be 60?
It's true.
That is jacked up.
I know. It's all good, but this is the time of my life, dude. My family's, this is it. Like, this is what these years are everything. So,
yes, sir. It's fun. It's fun. All right. Well, I think Torrey Horton's going to be dope, too, by the way. But I don't know if it's enough for. Is it enough for anything in fantasy? I'm not so sure because you point out the X receiver in this role is nothing. So I would sell on the hotness of Torrey Horton in Dynasty. Yes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. He's not gonna get the volume targets. I'm all about volume and getting opportunity, and not splash play guys that are extremely hard to. Predict.
Yeah, if you're in some sort of best ball dynasty, I think Torrey Horton has a little bit different value because he will spike. And you do want spike guys on your bench in a best ball. But in a managed league dynasty, I don't like Torrey Horton too much because I don't think there's really a pathway for him to become. Look, we're hoping you're basically hoping for like a T. Higgins. Holy shit. Are you kidding me? Like that is so the ceiling. And that's not realistic very much, for him. So, I think, Darius Slayton, we'd go back to him again, but it's like, that's the type of player. He's going to be a starter who's probably better than Darius Slayton, but that's about all you're going to get more realistically. There are some outlier, things that can happen, but I'm with you. And I love Torrey Horton too, because, I've got him a couple spots, but I'm going to be looking to trade as soon as he makes a big play in one of these early weeks of the season.
It's not like he's Rashid Shaheed, it's not like that where he's making those plays when he was with Clint. I think that might be his upside.
What that's kind of why I went to the Cooper Kupp injury thing, because if Cooper Kupp gets hurt, there isn't a second. I mean, we can go to the tight end here. I mean,
Arroyo, there's already talk about him being used on the X as an X. Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
they already believe in this guy. Maybe it's Arroyo. It might. I think that's more likely than the other, Torrey.
Well, we talked about your demise as a Seattle fan. We talked about TreVeyon Henderson's penis. I think we talked about Efton Chisholm's MVP, run. I think we've covered it all.
And Alec,
I am an or.
there it is. That he might be that wide receiver that was deep in those rookie drafts that's going to pay because he's going to be on the field and he's going to he's going to be opposite of Ridley and he's going to be left wide open all the time.
Well, here's to me and you never being able to make trades because we both love first round picks too much and we always err to the side of first round picks, which is the way to win in Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
And here's to your birthday. And tell the people if there's anything you're wanting to promote.
Just come to hang out with us on X at the Flex Network 1. That's our handle. My buddy Shane Seeley is about to drop his DFS Army rankings for the site. So if you want to check those out as well, he's about to drop those for redraft season and auction leagues. So, and we got some auction leagues coming up. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's really fun to me. I thought that was pretty fun.
That's pretty interesting because I've had one of the biggest questions I get, in my DMs and a lot of the times, hey man, can you talk about auction stuff? So maybe we'll have to circle back on this and have just a straight up auction podcast sometimes. Maybe it can even be a bonus episode or something. If you ever want to do it, let me know. We'll record something and see if we can put something on wax and give it to the people. Let's do it.
Absolutely. That's a underserved portion of fantasy football.
Sure. I totally agree. We could have that conversation. Maybe bring someone else in who we both know, have a little 3-man booth about auction strategy. Because I've got some ideas, but I'm not an auction expert, to be honest with you. I've got a couple of ideas. I think there's some core tenets of the thing I think about, but I'd love to hear yours. And if I had one other person, it'd be kind of interesting. So let's do it. We'll make that happen. We'll do an auction episode at some point. So with that, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you so much, bro. You're like a brother at this point. So thank you so much, Brandon.
Appreciate you.
On behalf of everybody here at the Undroppables, on behalf of everybody here at the Undrafted, on behalf of the greatest podcast producer to ever walk the land, Mr. Michael P. Duncan, you have been joined by the birthday boy, Mr. Brandon Adam. I am Jax Falcone, and we are out.